my goodness. So if you are here, it's because I am celebrating 50,000 subscribers with a bunch of laundry. But wait, there's more. So I didn't think this would be a good Q&A without doing a little bit of laundry. Actually, the last time I did an official Q&A, I was doing laundry. So I was like, let me take it back to the roots. So first, I just want to say thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. I am so excited because this is a channel I just kind of built first. Like, this is the first ever YouTube channel I ever made. I'm acting like I've made 1 million subscribers, but 50,000 is a huge milestone for me. Really quickly, I created this channel in 2006. Yes, if you go to my very first video, which I'll put right here, a random video that my friends and I made at a sleepover, and I'm so grateful that I kept it. I guess YouTube was like the first place you could like upload something, so I did that. Once I reach 100,000 subscribers, which hopefully my goal for that is before the new year, so by December 2024, that's when I'm gonna react to a lot of the videos on my channel, which will be really, really fun. But for now, we're gonna celebrate 50,000 subscribers by a Q&A while I fold the laundry. I don't know if that sounds that appealing, but that's just what came to mind. And I asked you guys on here and on Instagram, and I decided that I'm just gonna answer the questions that were asked specifically on my YouTube page. And then for Instagram, if you wanna follow me, it's at GloryK814. I think I'm gonna do a separate video for that for the IG followers, so make sure you go follow me there. But anyways, let's just get started. All right, so let's just go to the first question. Glory, 50K is an absolutely amazing achievement. Thank you, congrats on your hard work. My question is, what gives you motivation to film? I'm starting a vlog channel soon. I'm afraid that I may run out of motivation and forget to post for months. Okay, so that's a really good question because it's really, really easy to lose motivation. But I would just say if you are motivated to, well, it kind of depends. So like whatever your reason is for wanting to start a channel, is it a hobby? Do you eventually want to make an income off of it? So start there. So as you guys know, I have a channel with my husband, Slice and Rice, and that's our full-time job. So we make a living off of that. And so our motivation is we wanna keep providing for our family in that way. So that is really, really cool. And we're so blessed to be able to do that. Whereas my side channel, this one, like, it's more of like a hobby-ish kind of thing. Like, I'm so grateful that I am monetized on this channel and that I can make money, but it's definitely not, it doesn't compare to Slice and Rice, and it's also much less. So my motivation is honestly to keep me creative, especially if we don't have a video on Slice and Rice, and to just do things that like I enjoy. And now that I've started to make an income, like I think in the beginning I was like, I would love to make some side money on my channel. And so you have to get those watch hours in. I think it's like, what is that, like 4,000 hours of watch time, and then a certain amount of subscribers. I think it's 1,000. If I'm wrong, I will write it correctly. But yeah, that was my first motivation. So if you are just starting out, really let that be your motivation to hit that benchmark. But if you don't plan on getting paid, then I don't think you need to be so hard on yourself, because you kind of don't want it to get stressful. And I don't let this get stressful, but I just love that I can start making an income on here for things that I genuinely want to do and that other people enjoy. And just know that there's an audience for everything. So even if you think what you're doing is boring, like, come on. I tell people all the time, like, oh yeah, I go to Aldi and I just grocery shop, and sometimes people's heads will turn like, what? There's an audience for everything. So let that be your motivation, that you could film anything and someone, and I guarantee you a group of lots of people will be interested in it. So let that be your motivation, and start off really slowly, like maybe just uploading, starting out like once a month even, and then every other week, and then once a week. So right now what I try to do is like twice a week. Right now I'm kind of like, ooh, that'd be cool if I could do every other day, but I don't want to be too hard on myself. Again, like I said, because it's like a side channel where I can kind of like be more expressive and not as, you know, I can just have fun with it. So I kind of hope that answered your question. All right, second, do you ever wish you gave yourself more time before getting married or having kids? Wow, okay, so I got married in 2019, it's 2024. So I think we're coming up on 5 years. So 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. So yes, 5 years ago, and right now I'm so I got married when I was 25? What? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Hold on. I'm 30 right now. Wow, I didn't didn't even realize I got married at 25. That's kind of young in my opinion, 25, oh my goodness. But to be fair, no, I don't think I got married too soon because I was with Matt for a long time. Well, not for a long time, but actually fun fact, this year marks our 10 years of being on YouTube and dating because when Matt and I, this is a whole nother story. We probably have a video about it somewhere, but when Matt and I first met, we bonded over our love of YouTube. And in 2014, YouTube was not what it is today, okay? More people are doing it today, and it was really unique, especially in a school environment, to find another creator doing YouTube. So that immediately bonded us. We knew all the same YouTubers that we watched online. We just connected over so much. So when we first started dating, like we were talking for a really long time, and then we started dating. And then the next day or that day, I don't remember, we were like, let's make a YouTube channel together. And it was just for like fun because we were dating and everything. So we were dating since 2014, got married in 2019. So we were dating for 5 years. I think that's a really healthy time to be together before you get married. I mean, I don't think there needs to be a timeline like that at all, but we spent a lot of time in college together. And then after we graduated, we spent a lot of time together. Our marriage journey or relationship journey is quite the interesting one, but in general, I don't think I got married too early by any means, according to how long I dated and knew Matt, who's my husband. The kids one, so even before we got married, like I just would always tell people like, I want a bunch of kids, I want a bunch of kids. Like I just always knew I wanted a lot of kids, even though we only have 2 right now. I'm just saying like that's something I always wanted. So I think I was more of the, I want kids right away. And this is a kind of a funny story, but I remember I was still on that I want kids, like right after we got married. And I remember going to a baby shower with all of these women, and I was talking to this one mom about how I wanted 6 kids and I wanted kids right away, and she has 3. And she was like, Glory, if I can give you some advice, I would say wait as long as you can. Not as long as you can, but she said wait before rushing into having kids because you know, you just want to enjoy your marriage first, so that once you have kids, you know, you feel like, well, whatever the whole talk was. I'm sure we've all heard it. And I left that shower feeling like, you know what? I think she's right. I think we should wait before rushing to kids. So I went home, talked with Matt, and he agreed. Lo and behold, I was pregnant. I went to that baby shower pregnant. I had no idea. So like I'm talking early stages, like 4 weeks, like I was pregnant when me and Matt were like, yeah, we're gonna wait. Like, joke's on me. Like, I was literally pregnant and didn't realize until a few weeks later, which is funny because that kind of makes me think like God already had plans. Like, and I mean, I know everyone says it, but I'm so grateful right now, even though at the time I wanted to wait. Like, I wouldn't have had the kids I have now if like I waited. You know, I'm just so grateful, and like, I could not be more grateful than the scenario that I just have 2 boys who are 2 years apart. I'm 30. I just feel like I'm so grateful. Like I don't really know what other words to say there is for that. But yeah, I do think we had kids a little bit soon. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not like after being married, but at the same time, it's like we were together for 5 years and then we got married, and then a year later we had kids. But that could seem fast to some people, and that was kind of fast, I'm not gonna lie, to not be like married a little bit longer, but we were also together for a long time before then. Although I know being married is a completely different dynamic than dating, like 100% different. But I'm just saying, our timeline was unique in that situation where I felt like we had been together for a long time before we got married. But anyways, I don't regret it, I still don't. Would I also be the mom to tell people to wait? Maybe, but I don't know. I just think it depends on your timeline and your history before that too. Okay, let me go to the next question. When did you stop breastfeeding and was it hard for you? What was your journey like? So, like I said, I have 2 boys. So with our first kid, I didn't really know, look at this shirt that Matt got as a gift. I didn't really know, I knew I was gonna breastfeed if I was able to. And once I knew I was able to breastfeed, I was like, okay, I do want to breastfeed at least for a year because that's what they recommend. But I didn't really know how much longer after that. I didn't really have plans for it, to be honest. I didn't really think about it actively that much. But then once I found out I was pregnant, that to me was the sign to stop breastfeeding. I think some women still breastfeed, but they always say like I think they say it's safer to like stop once you find out you're pregnant because it can induce labor or something like that. And I just didn't want to risk anything. So that's when I stopped, and I found out I was pregnant once I was either 12 or 13, no, I think it was 13 or 14 months. So I knew I'd done it for a year, and then by the 13 or 14 month mark, I felt really good because I was like, well, I didn't know when I was gonna stop anyways, and I knew I at least did it for 1 year. And so to be honest, even though I'm not pregnant right now or anything, which was another question I'd seen in another video, if I was pregnant, I'm not pregnant. I knew with my second, I wanted it to be like equal. I'm just kind of like that. So I also stopped him around the 13 or 14th month mark, and I just felt good about it, you know? But I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really sad. And I really didn't think like I was gonna be one of those moms that thought it was gonna be hard, but if you breastfeed, you'll definitely understand why it's difficult to stop breastfeeding your kid. It's like, that's like the one physical bond that still connects you to. Like, you know, obviously they're in your womb for like 9 months, and then once they're out of you and you're breastfeeding, you still get to have that direct connection with them. And so then once you decide to stop, it's really sad for them. And it's really sad for you, surprisingly. Like, it was really, really sad for me. Like, I think I got really sad. I would like just sit there and be like, wow, this is my last time. And you really kind of have to like dedicate or commit to that being your last time. Otherwise, it's gonna be a never-ending cycle. You don't want to like tease the kid either. So it was really sad and hard for me, but I'm really good at just sticking to something I say. So like, I knew if that was gonna be the last day I was breastfeeding, I was gonna be serious about that. And then a side note that I always knew that I wanted to do to kind of help me get through it was make breast milk jewelry, which I had always seen on Pinterest and stuff like that. And Matt knew that, so he had actually purchased me a DIY breast milk jewelry kit, which is so amazing. He got it, and I hadn't used it for like a year or two, but I'd always saved the breast milk from Jerry and Sam. But Jerry's crazy because I literally had like his 2-year-old breast milk just in our freezer. Even when we moved houses, I made sure to keep that because I just didn't want to, like, I knew I wanted to make a jewelry, and it wouldn't be the same if I didn't have the actual milk from when I was breastfeeding it. So I actually legitimately have jewelry that I ended up making. I'll show it to you guys here. I made a whole video on it, and I'm so glad that I have it. I mean, granted, I don't wear it, but it's just kind of like nice that I have that. So yeah, that was my breastfeeding journey. Oh, and one last thing I want to mention is, when I was a new mom, I had no idea how much breastfeeding would hurt. Like, I don't know why I never heard of it, but for me personally, it really, really hurt every time Jerry would latch, and then I experienced breast engorgement, which was so painful. Yeah, I cried every time. And second time around, it wasn't as bad, but that first time, it was so, so rough. I was in 3 months of pain, like all the time, always crying. Yeah, that was really rough, but I pushed through, and I'm really grateful that I did because yeah, that's just what I really want to do for my kids. So I was really glad about that. Okay, next question. What are your top 2 scriptures you run to? So something I'm trying to get better at is memorizing verses, not just for the sake of memorizing them, but so I can tuck them away in my heart and just, you know, like a library book, just like get access to it when I need it. So the ones that I would say that I run to are pretty much probably only the ones that I know. But I will say, in times of trouble, one time I felt like God was showing me Philippians, and then I kept seeing the numbers between 4, 1, and 3. Like, it just kept flowing in my mind. And I was like, what does that mean? I wouldn't know what that is. And then I went on Twitter, and the first tweet was Philippians 4:13. And it was the one where it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I was like, my jaw dropped to the floor because I was like, that's never happened to me. So that's definitely something I hold on to in that sense. But I'm gonna be really honest and say that I actually had, I think last month, a panic attack. I actually didn't realize they were panic attacks until I really looked into it, and I was like, oh, like this is what that is? Or I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but it's called air hunger. And that's finally when I realized that that's what I struggle with. I was like, wow, like there's actually a term for it, and I'm not alone. It's like a mixture of when I'm feeling anxious about something, or even if I eat bad foods, it kind of messes with my breathing. Like, I struggle with it right now, and it's called air hunger, where you feel like you can't get enough air into your lungs. Like, My oxygen levels are fine. They're great actually. And, but it just feels like the airway in my breath is either compressed or looks like this small. I'm just being super vulnerable about this, but yeah, I experienced a panic attack a month ago because I felt like I couldn't breathe and I really couldn't get any air in. I was freaking out. I actually went outside to get fresh air, and weirdly, I actually felt a lot of peace because I was praying to God, even in the midst of a panic and feeling like I couldn't breathe. I had felt a lot of peace, and I just felt like God was telling me the Psalm 23, I believe. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie in green pastures. And I actually don't know that verse very, very well, but it just popped into my mind, and that's just the one that I kept repeating over and over to myself. And I just felt the most peace I'd ever felt in my life. And that was also the most panic I'd felt in my life. So it was like so interesting. And it was just a moment that I don't really get a lot. That kind of stuff doesn't happen that much to me. But I was listening to a podcast a few days later, and this guy was talking about how he gets panic attacks. So I was just like more interested in it because I was like, wow, like I'm just now learning a little bit more about those. And he said that when he experienced one, that a pastor told him to just keep repeating Psalm 23, Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And I actually think that was a Holy Spirit moment because I kind of cried. It was like a wife and her husband, and he was talking about it. But my Holy Spirit felt really like, I guess, touched when I listened to that part. If you guys aren't Christian, and if this kind of stuff is kind of like foreign to you, or if I'm not making sense, I do apologize about that. But it's because I'm not really going in depth. I'm just answering question to question. But yeah, that was a moment where I was like, wow, that like really touched me. So like that verse I hold very, very dear to my heart. So, and then of course I don't say we all know it, but another verse that I know very well is do not be anxious in anything but in prayer and thanksgiving. I don't know, I'm butchering it already, but you know, I'll put them all down here. I do tend to go to that when I'm anxious because I feel like I definitely deal with anxiety and stuff like that, but I also don't know anyone that doesn't. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. So yeah, those are the two scriptures that I run to, and I wish I knew more because I feel like, yeah, I just want to be able to like reach for them in my heart whenever I feel them in the moment. Okay, any other jobs you do besides YouTube? I love you guys, thank you. So if I wasn't doing YouTube, like even on Slice and Rice, before I did YouTube, I've always done YouTube as a hobby. So before I did YouTube, I still was a film major, and so was Matt. And we were film majors at Towson actually. And I always told people I wanted to be like a music video editor. Like, so if you look on this channel, which like I said, I will do reactions to some of the videos that I've done in the past. I used to do a lot of like music videos where I would like lip sync to a song. I guess that's like what people do still, like modern day TikTok, what they did on Musical.ly. And the era that I grew up in on YouTube, a lot of people would do like their own music videos and lip sync to them and edit them. And I just had so much fun editing. So like I just wanted to become a professional music video editor, specifically for music videos because I just love like upbeat, like artistic, like I wouldn't want to do it for like a film because I feel like I don't like slow pace. I like upbeat. So like a pop artist music video editor would have been like a dream job, I guess. That's something that I still get to do today, like edit. But aside from that world, I would have loved to also, I would tell people I would love to do interior designing, which is kind of something like someone probably wouldn't believe because like I feel like I'm not very good at it in a professional sense, but I love interior designing like where I could be really fun and not as serious, if that makes sense. So I'm not good at like serious decor, like a beautiful living room or a beautiful master bedroom. I'm really good at, and yes, I'm kind of tooting my own horn, like little kid rooms, like a nursery or something I get to have fun with. I just love like fun colors, fun things to play with. Like my son's nurseries are my pride and joy. Like I did a toy store nursery for Jerry and I got to work on that all COVID during the pandemic when we were home. So I was thriving because I was able to be home and work on it really closely. And then Jerry also has a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse room. And then I love the Winnie the Pooh nursery I did. And so one of my dreams would be, if I have a girl someday, to do like a really cute like Disney princess room or something like that. I would just love it. Yeah, so that's another thing that I love. I don't know if I'd want to do that as a job. I just really love doing it for my kids, but I don't know if I'd love to do that. Like, another thing I love to do is party plan and host games and make games and stuff like that, but I wouldn't want to do that as a job, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my answer, I guess. All right, how do you guys deal with intercultural issues? So I don't know why I said it like that. I'm German American and my husband is Korean American, so would love to hear your perspective. So being in an interracial marriage, like I actually don't struggle with that topic until it came to my parents and what they would think and how that would be, like having a son-in-law who can't speak the language. And yeah, so Matt and I have talked a lot about that on the past on our channel, if you wanna go and look at those videos. But we struggled a lot, not gonna lie, in the beginning, just like with that. And that's kind of why also it took so long for us to get married. Like I think we knew it already that we wanted to get married pretty early on, but that was like a battle that we kind of had to overcome when it came to my side of the family. I don't really like to talk about it that much in terms of the struggles because now it's like so good. Like he's so welcomed and so loved, and it's really not an issue today, but it was a real issue in the past, and I used to like cry about it all the time. I used to be so upset. I almost felt like Romeo and Juliet, like a forbidden love, which is so dumb. But it's a real issue. And so like in general, I never think about like, oh, like how are other people gonna perceive us? It was more of like my parents and how are they gonna perceive him. But he was patient and they were accepting. And I feel like at the end of the day, if you are a believer, like I feel like you can't deny love or God's plan. And I feel like that really helped us, was just like being prayerful about it and having believing parents too that weren't so stubborn in their ways and stuff like that. So that's a really hard one because I don't know if you mean just in general or with your family and your parents, but I think patience is really important, never forcing a situation upon anyone, and always trying to understand the other side, and yeah, just letting things flow at its own pace and to never rush anything. I know this sounds all kind of annoying, but this is just what we had to do. We just had to do a lot of waiting and praying, and just character will show itself at the end of the day, but we always had a lot of people praying for us too. So that was our journey. Again, I think we have videos on it, but yeah, I really do wish the best for you guys in that because I know how that was. How do you stay so optimistic and happy when you're down or life throws curveballs at you? You have such a happy and bright soul. I know you're close to God and have a lot of faith, but is that the sole reason? How do you stay glass half full? So thank you, first of all, for saying that and noticing that. Generally, I want to give a lot of credit to my mom. I think growing up, I just have always seen her as an optimistic, glass half full kind of person. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a large reason as to why I am optimistic. Like I'm very optimistic, even when like things aren't going right. I'll always be like, oh, it must be because God has a better way. Like I don't try to be annoying in that way, but like I genuinely believe better things when bad things are happening. And so I think that's just the way I've been wired because I grew up with my mom being that example for me. My parents actually as a whole. So I think you can train yourself to be in that boat, but I also believe a lot of it has to do with how you grew up and how you perceive things. So I would just say, just start training yourself to always, you know, see the brighter things of it, because there is, especially if you're a believer, you know, you take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it to good. So if you are a believer and you believe that statement and that verse, then just anytime you're given a bad situation, just try to remember that verse and cling onto it and understand that it's truth. So that's a good start, but I think it's like a training thing. Like you kind of have to train your mindset if you didn't already naturally grow up that way. So I'm very, very blessed to have grown up with that model in my life. But yeah, I hope that was at least helpful. That's just coming from someone who thinks that that's what it would be if I hadn't had that naturally, if that makes sense. Okay, congratulations, thank you. What's one of the best parts about being in a full house of boys? Oh my gosh, they keep me young and energized and laughing all the time. I mean, I'm not saying girls wouldn't do that. I'm just saying like, that's just what it feels like here. I just love the boy energy. I love I don't know. I just love to see little leaders, and I've obviously never, I don't say obviously, but I've never been into little boy toys like monster trucks and cars and all that stuff. So it's just so fun exploring a whole new universe. I enjoy it, and I love especially seeing Matt be the father that he is to our boys and giving them that boy energy that they so badly need. So I love it. I'm very, very blessed. Okay, I want to start recording cooking videos, but I'm scared people will make fun of it or think I'm trying too hard. How do I push through when my videos aren't getting attraction and there's laughter from the outside? I feel you on that. When I was starting YouTube at a time where it was not regular or normal to do that, I'm telling you, this was like early 2000s, like that was definitely when it was like laughed at, and like anytime someone found out my channel, I would like get so embarrassed because I would get people saying like, you have too much time on your hands, like why are you doing that? It's so silly, especially when I was doing music videos. I'd be so embarrassed if someone pulled up my videos. I think this day and age, you can totally get away with doing videos that might not get a lot of views. I might suggest starting on TikTok because the chances of your video popping off are much higher than on like YouTube, because YouTube is really hard. You have to have a lot of patience and grow an audience very, very slowly. I was really blessed because I had started so long ago, and then with having Slice and Rice, that obviously helped with the views on this channel. Like that's obvious. I didn't work from, well, I did work from the ground up, but like obviously Slice and Rice has a huge reason as to why I have as many subscribers as I do on this channel than if I were to just start ground zero with nothing. But if you're starting from ground zero and you're embarrassed and stuff like that, I would say YouTube is like honestly a really good place for you to be able to, well, first of all, I want to say like be confident in who you are and stuff like, but that's sometimes that's one ear out the other. So in general, you can upload on YouTube without anyone really knowing that you upload on YouTube. So like just get into the habit of uploading there and knowing that it's kind of like your own safe space. Like you don't really have to promote it, but just let people organically find you on YouTube. But TikTok will probably be the best place for you to get recognition. So if you're like constantly uploading on there, I'm sure they'll reward that and you'll show up on someone's For You algorithm, and maybe your video will pop off. And then if you already have a YouTube channel and you tell your audience on TikTok, like here's the longer version or whatever, then they can find you there more organically. And so that might be a more realistic way of feeling like you don't have to promote yourself and feel embarrassed, but it's still your safe space on YouTube. Like, cause like I'm saying, YouTube takes a long time for you to grow an audience, for sure. Like that's much harder, but TikTok is much easier and faster, Instagram as well. So maybe start on like the short form platforms while you're uploading YouTube. But if you feel really, really embarrassed, you're not working up with that, to have that confidence yet, just maybe don't promote your YouTube channel and just let it happen organically. It just might take a long time. But also, Matt and I obviously had to start at zero somewhere, and we started our YouTube channel when we were in college, and all of our friends, most of our friends were film majors because we were in the film major group department. And so I wouldn't say we got made fun of, but I feel like we got mocked in terms of like, ooh, Slice and Rice, like people kind of like make fun of it a little bit. Like I could tell, because like, you know, you have 100 subscribers or 50 subscribers, people don't really take you as seriously because you're just like anybody else, but we still pushed through it. I know might be a little bit easier if you have a partner that you do it with, but nonetheless, it still can be embarrassing. And so you just got to push through it. Go to things that might encourage you, like VidCon. I know you can't always, things like that, like video conventions might not be always in the budget, but sometimes you can like look at replays of panel talks online, YouTube. There's so many YouTube gurus out there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm giving the best advice, but you know, I lived through the embarrassment and I still pushed through regardless of it, because you just gotta push yourself, because if you don't, then you just won't get anywhere. So it's just kind of like you gotta pick and choose. But yeah, I don't know if that's helpful. I really hope that was, and I'm rooting for you. Just know that I'm rooting for you. Okay, what do you do as a mom of two, entrepreneur and wife for you time? And how do you overcome dry seasons in your faith? I'm not gonna lie, I'm so bad at me time. My only me time that I feel like I truly have is once the kids go down, and then I end up going to sleep super late, but I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I need to be better at doing the whole you time thing. Matt tells me that all the time. So I'm gonna be a lot more intentional about that and just do that. Also, I'm really bad at just having hobbies. I know it sounds really weird, but like just to do something just for fun, just because I want to, it's very foreign to me. Like I feel like I need purpose to do things. Like I love crafting and DIYing, but I won't really do it for fun. I'll do it for a purpose. So for like my son's birthday party recently, I crafted and DIY'd a lot of stuff, but I did it because it was his birthday party. I didn't do it just because I wanted to. So I think that's something I'm gonna really try to force myself to get into is more hobbies. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty bad at that. So I'll report back in a year and see if I'm any better at it. In terms of dry seasons, I feel like I'm in dry seasons so often, more than not, and I'm really aware of that. So I feel like I'm always trying to fill my ears like with a Christian podcast or like music. Like I have a playlist. I try to listen to Christian music in the worship music in the morning. I love Maverick City, so I'll like listen to that in the morning. I just try to fill my ears and the space with anything that will make me feel closer to God. But I'm in a dry season more often than not. I do push myself to read the Bible. I don't do it every day. I wish I did, but yeah, anytime I feel that way, I do express it to my husband, Matt, and that kind of helps me get fired up again. And yeah, I mean, I'm not good at it, so that's my answer for now, but hopefully it's always just like a work in progress. First off, my boys and I are huge fans. Can we get a shout out? Yes, shout out to Edison, Isaac, and Lucas. Questions: if you weren't doing YouTube for work, what would you be doing? Okay, answered that. Another house tour. So I don't think so until maybe we get it renovated, because it is just always, I feel like, not ready to be shown. Any vacation plans? So we don't have anything crazy planned this summer like we did last year. Like last year we went to Disney. That's always like a hope of ours, but I don't think this year we're doing anything big, just maybe like more local things. We're kind of saving money and just keeping it a little bit more low key this year. Which is fine. Like you don't always have to go on vacation. Sometimes it's not always the realistic time to do that in your life. Can we get more vlogs / day in the life videos? So I would love to. I just feel like I forget. I have to be really intentional about it. But if you guys really enjoyed my first vlog-like video where it was like Father's Day, I think it was, or something like that, or Matt's birthday. I don't remember what it was, but if you, please comment down below if you want more vlogs, because I would like to, for sure. I would really, really like to. I feel like they're kind of, I don't want to say boring, because like I love watching just like realistic vlogs where even if they're not doing anything entertaining, like I get that it's still entertaining even if it's not, they're not doing something crazy. Like I actually prefer those type of vlogs, but let me know down below if you would like to see more, because I would love to. Congratulations on 50K, Glory. Thank you. May your personal page continue to prosper. I appreciate that. I will be getting married in a month. So excited. My question would be, at this point in your marriage, what would be yours and Matt's #1 advice to newlyweds or married couples in general? Ooh, congrats. So in a month, oh my goodness. So I would say the whole like, let yourselves be married for at least a year, which I think we were made for a year before we had a kid, but 5 years into it now, which is crazy. I can't believe 5 years. I feel like it's 4. Hold on. That is wild. 5 years in September, which is why my math wasn't mathing. So it's not 5 years yet, but that's so crazy. I feel like Matt and I have to really celebrate our 5 years this year. Anyways, 5 years down the line, just know that when you get married, you guys are really in it for better, for worse, for sickness and health. Like, you don't just say those words lightly, you really mean that in every aspect of the word. So it's not just physical, but it's also mental health. And just know that you're always rooting for each other and you should be on the same team. So I feel like, especially if you're a believer, you know the enemy wants to kill, steal, and destroy. So he wants to separate you and your spouse. So anytime, sometimes in the back of my mind, if we're in an argument, I'll remember that. I'd be like, wait, like I don't want to give the enemy what he's trying to get, because like you don't want them to win. So it's like, no, I don't want to go against my husband. I need to be with him. So yeah, always remember the team thing, and that those vows that you make to each other are really to be taken seriously. So just really kind of, I would like meditate over the vows that you're gonna say to each other as a prayer, and just really, really mean it. Like they're not loose terms. And just know too that if you are not the same person that you are as you were last year, just know that it's the same as your significant other. So you 1 year ago is gonna be different a year later. And so you 1 year getting married, 5 years down the road, you guys are gonna be completely, I don't wanna say completely different people, but you're gonna mature and go through a lot of things that are gonna make you very different from who you were when you first got married. And everything was more like honeymoonish, even though you're probably over the honeymoon stage right now. But you know what I'm saying? We're always changing, so always have grace for the other person, always have the benefit of the doubt for them. They're your other half, they're your best friend. Like, don't keep anything from them, obviously. I don't know if I have like one hands-on advice, but yeah, I obviously keep God at the center of your marriage. And I think marriage is really just a beautiful gift that God has given us in order for us to be able to have another person that we're like a team with, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my advice, if it was even advice at all. Okay, do you have any testimonies you would like to share? This one's a hard one because you know when people say like, oh, like what's your testimony? Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I have a testimony, but I don't know if I have any testimonies that I would like to share per se, but I think my testimony of becoming being able to do YouTube, I just feel like that's always been a dream of mine since it was a thing. So since 2006, like I just always had it in my heart to have influence. I guess the best way you could put it was like when I was younger, I would be like, oh wow, like I think it's so cool if you're famous, you can use that fame for good, to further God's kingdom. Like I always had that mindset and I always just had that desire, and I believe that God put that desire in my heart because that's how he made me. So when I met Matt, it almost felt like a missing puzzle piece because like he also had the desire as a young kid, and for us to like join forces and just have Slice and Ice, like I feel like that's a huge testimony in itself that we are living out God's purpose for us. I know that's not really the best one. I do have like stories and stuff, but I feel like if I ever feel like it's the right time to share, I will. But that's just like one that I feel like I'm a living testament to, like God using the desires in my heart when I was young and seeing it come to fruition is just amazing. All right, we're almost at the end. So congrats, thank you. My question is, how are the kids when it comes to learning Korean? I know you and Slice mentioned that your parents would only talk to them in Korean, so how's their progress? Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you. So it is not going well in terms of like, I really want them to be able to speak Korean, but I'm not doing a good job at making that happen. I feel like there's so many things I could do, right? I could show them Korean TV shows, like kids shows, and then for some reason when my parents talk to them, they talk to them in English, and I'm trying to get them out of the habit. I'm like, talk to them in Korean. But like every now and then I'll be like, say this, like hungry means 배고파. So like 배고파요, so I'll be like, say it, it means hungry, but like I don't really know if it sticks. So I need to do better at that because I want them and Matt to be able to speak to my parents in Korean and just be bilingual. That'd be so cool. All right, and are you hoping to add to your sweet little family or happy at just two? Do you guys come from big families? So Matt and I both have 3 older sisters, so we're both the youngest, and Matt's family is so big. He's a lot of family members, which is another gift from God that I'm so grateful for, because I always wanted to marry into like a big family because I never got to experience that growing up. All my family lives in Korea, so I have immediate family here in the US. But 3 older siblings and my parents. I feel like that's like a big sized family, like 4 kids could feel big, but I don't have like cousins and nephews and stuff like that. Well, now my sister gave me a niece and a nephew, but like I don't have like cousins of my own and stuff like that that live in the US for me to experience. So that's why I've always wanted my own big family, and I'm so grateful that I married into a big family. So I love my family that I married into so much. I'm so grateful for them, and of course we want to grow our family. It's just when is the right time. We're not in a rush. I feel like I'm still young, and I love having 2 boys close in age together right now, and I love the fact that we're gonna have a little bit of a gap between the next. At first I was like, I want them all boom, 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 boom together. But then I was also like, wait, I kind of want to spread it out so that it's not so chaotic and it could feel new again. So like I haven't been pregnant for 2 years. And so like, I feel like the next time I am pregnant, it's going to be really new, and I won't like, I feel like having one after the next, like Jerry was really fast for me. And so I had no break in between, and but now I feel like a lot more fresh and stuff. So like once I have another baby, it'll just feel new. And I like that, and I like that there's gonna be an age gap so that I can focus more on the new baby once they're both in preschool and stuff like that. So that's kind of intentional. So yes, definitely adding to the family. I've always said I wanted to have 6, but it's not gonna be like that. I'm just talking out my mouth, but I mean, I would love it, but I just don't think that's like realistic. So I don't know, definitely another, maybe another one after that, but who knows? I'm not pregnant right now, I'm not, but yeah, who knows when that'll happen. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I actually folded everything, even though it's still a mess, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you like Q&As, if I should do this more often, and yeah, keep an eye out for the Q&As I do on Instagram. But thank you again so much for 50,000 subscribers. Love you guys so much. My next goal is 100K before the end of the year, and we have been trying to reach 2 million subscribers on Slice and Rice for the longest time. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well, please do. Anyways, God bless you all. I love you. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for 50K. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.